If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more of my content. Also, be sure to hit the notification button down below, that way when a new video comes out, you'll be notified. Female superheroes are something, aren't they? They're able to stand side by side with their male counterparts, and yet they get the short end of the stick compared to those said male counterparts. That being said, one way or another, female superheroes have contributed to much, and for that they should be respected.
We have to respect women, Bakugo! No! If she breathes, she's a thought! All women are queens!
That's where Emara comes in. Emara, Hero of the Emirate, is an online cartoon that comes from the United Arab Emirates. Huh, well that's new. For those who are not familiar with the country, the United Arab Emirates is a nation that's right on the Arabian Peninsula that borders Saudi Arabia, Oman, and the Persian Gulf. Compared to other parts of the region, the UAE is one of the most stable and richest countries in the Middle East. This is where the famous Dubai is. That being said, this is actually the first animated series to come out of the country, and this is something because animation from the Middle East is extremely rare, with the two best known ones being the beautifully animated war film Waltz with Bashir from Israel, or the poorly animated South Park ripoff from Kuwait, Block 13. Fun fact, the creator of Block 13 is the uncle of a friend of mine from college. Talk about a small world. So, is it any good? Well, suit up and let's find out. So, what's the plot? Well, we meet a young woman named Moza who works for her mother's cafe. However, Moza lives a double life as Emara, Hero of the Emirate. Emara's powers are purely technological as she uses mechanical arms to help her fight crime and to do work around the cafe. Emara works alongside another superhero named Dabian, whose powers come from his mechanical legs. At first, he seems like the cool, suave kind of guy who is allied with Emara, but it's later revealed that he's working for this shady organization that wants Emara. It is then revealed that Emara has a bounty on her head, so she must find out who wants her. However, trouble arises when Emara gets captured by a mysterious figure and is mind-controlled, and must be rescued by Dabian. All the while, Emara must save Dabian from this monster-like creature, and Dabian must decide between his loyalty to Emara or the organization. So what do I like about this series? Well, for starters, I love the animation and art style. This was done by a small team from the United Arab Emirates and an unknown studio called Eating Star Studios, and you can tell they did their best here. For the most part, the animation flows just right, and yeah, in episode 2 they can be a bit choppy, but in the industry that is known as a budget episode when you don't put much effort into it, but overall pretty good for a first project. In fact, some of the style here reminds me of something that came out of Studio Trigger. Speaking of which, there's a ton of anime references from such anime such as Astro Boy, Cutie Honey, Cyborg 009, Evangelion, and Attack on Titan. Also, the characters are very well designed. I know some will say that this suffers from the Tumblr art style with it being very simplistic and bright, but it really does help with the characters' movements and makes them more recognizable and unique. Though, I'll be honest, Emara and Dabian do suffer from the Superman Clark Kent effect, where all they need to hide their secret identity is a visor. How do they not recognize each other? And come to think of it, how do people not know it's them in general? The characters are pretty good for the most part, despite not getting enough time with them. Emara, or her real name Moza, is a confident, upbeat, and is willing to help out those who are in need. She's very kind to her fans, and despite hating customers, she does love helping her mother at the cafe. She always doesn't win and faces defeat from time to time, and even sadness, but never gives up. Dabian, or his real name Sultan, is the kind of cool hero guy you usually think of, though, however, in his civilian life he is stuck in a wheelchair and he uses his tech to help him fight crime. He is a pretty chill and brave guy, as he does offer to help with a cafe when it's overcrowded, stands up to a mugger in the cafe, and is torn between his loyalty between Emara and the organization he works for. Even though they don't get much screen time, Emara's mother is just a joy to watch, and her uncle's a freaking badass with him chasing after a car on foot and managed to take out the driver and the gunman. And most of the villains leave a sense of mystery. Omar, the gang leader, while it seemed like a competent villain at first, ends up becoming comic relief. However, the organization leaves you with a sense of interest and questions that you want to be answered. And of course, the guy in the paper dog mask is just plain creepy. And of course, I freaking love the theme song. Seriously, it's just very catchy, and if I spoke Arabic, I would definitely sing along. Trust me, it will stick with you. I would love an extended version, even an instrumental. I would love to do a cover for this one day. Now, is there any problems? Yes, of course, but they're not bad things, just something that need improvements. There are 3 versions of this series, an English dub and 2 Arabic dubs, one formal and the other informal. Let's start with the English version first. The English dub can be hit or miss. While most of the female voice actors do a pretty good job, on the other hand most of the male voice actors seem like they're not putting much effort into it. As mentioned before, because I'm not an Arabic speaker, I didn't know what the difference between formal and informal Arabic was, and watching the two with the exception of the voices, I couldn't tell the difference. That was until I looked it up, with the formal one being used for a more wider Arabic speaking world, while the informal one was just for that region like certain dialects, which makes it most likely that the informal one was for the UAE. That being said, I think Eating Stars should expand and add more languages such as Spanish, French, German. Heck, if they want to show Emara to the rest of the Muslim world, maybe do one in Turkish or Farsi. After all, I think Emara would be great for all languages. And Emara's greatest strength and also its greatest weakness is that it's too short. There are 5 episodes and each are 10 minutes long, so you can get them done within an hour. Problem is that because Emara is more action based, I feel like not a lot got done and the pacing can be rushed at times. Plus, like I mentioned, it does leave a lot of questions such as how did Emara get her tech? When did she become a superhero? How did her father die? Oh yeah, by the way, she has a dead father. Why does the organization want her? Who's the guy who wants Emara? Is Emara a student? If so, does she balance school, work, and being a superhero? Also, not to mention, it does end on a cliffhanger. That being said, if season 2 were to come out, hopefully most of these questions will be answered. I would love to see season 2 focus more on Emara's personal relationship with her family and how she multitasks from being a superhero and her civilian life. Overall, Emara Hero of the Emirate is a good show. I really say check it out and help support Eating Star Studios because it's wonderful to help support small animation studios on a platform that doesn't give animation a lot of love. And plus, it shows a positive for Middle Eastern animation.
Gotta go.
After you, partner.
Shut up, Dabian.